So DeAndre, about, I think people have been sending that picture of you, Lamar, and Derrick Henry and saying, how many touchdowns can this trio total? Do you have any answer for that?
Man, hopefully enough to win a lot of games. And, to win the games we need to win. So I don't have a number, but hopefully, more than a little bit.
How excited are you to reunite with Derrick Henry?
Very excited. Derrick is, like family. Derrick and I have a long relationship. We talked today actually. Well, his trainer and myself. We all work out together down in Dallas. So his trainer called me earlier while Derrick was working out. He really didn't say too much, but that's Derrick. He's grinding.
You talked to Lamar yet? Had any interaction with him yet?
Oh yeah, I talked to Lamar a couple days ago. Just ready to get to work. Not really much need to be said. Just let's get to work.
How much did him being here, and obviously you've been open about your affinity with him, like, is that the sole reason, or what played into the decision?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lamar, being the leader of this team is part of the reason that I came here. What he stands for and how he's led this team and this organization, to the playoffs in multiple years, and since he's been here, just how he's just led any receiver group he's had. So I think that played a big part of me coming here for sure. Lamar being the quarterback.
How did you come here sort of come together in those couple of days? Did you guys have a sort of a short list of teams that you identified during the process, or how did it happen?
Obviously, I was in Kansas City, so we really, didn't, do too much, thinking that, possibility of me being back in Kansas City. But once we, found out that, I wouldn't be back in Kansas City, we made, a list, and the Ravens was the first team on my list.
DeAndre, I know you're coming off of being with Kansas City, getting to a Super Bowl for the first time in your career, and I know it's only been about a month, but what do you take away from that experience? What do you learn from that experience that you now bring here, not just for yourself, but with teammates who the goal here for several years is to get over that hump and get to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, obviously, I started off in Tennessee and went to Kansas City, so, I had best of both worlds, being, with a team that wasn't a contender, and then going to a team like Kansas City, who was obviously, we played in Super Bowl. So, a lot of lessons that, I can give to a lot of players, especially on this team, being in the game that they were in last year, almost, basically, about to play us, but, almost doesn't get it done in the NFL. So, I feel like I can give a lot to this, especially this receivers group, and guys in the locker room as well. I'm pretty sure there are some guys who's played in the Super Bowl, might have won a Super Bowl here. But for myself, if someone asks, obviously I'm here to help and make everyone better.
DeAndre, you mentioned the guys you're going to be playing here with. The receiving room with Zayd and Rashad, and also the tight ends. Have a lot of good receivers. Have you given thought to your sort of fit and what your specialty is going to be in the passing game?
I haven't really given much thought. This is my first day. I just came in, signed my papers and did a little workout, and met with you guys. So, I really haven't given it much thought. Just really wherever I can be used is, doesn't matter to me.
What do you know about the receiver group that you're joining and the different guys in there, and have you spoken to any of them yet?
Those are some very talented young receivers. Those guys, Zay, Bate, the tight ends that we have, marking those guys. I think, the receivers specifically, they're young, fast. Those guys go out and make plays. They're exciting to watch, but I don't know much about them outside of, just what I see on the football field. So, just looking forward to, just hanging out and learning more about them.
Jumping from the offense that's led by Patrick Mahomes to now one with Lamar Jackson, what was your mom and your family's reaction to that?
I mean, obviously excited, bittersweet that we couldn't, win Kansas City last year, but that's football, still grateful for the opportunity. But they were excited. My family's big fans of Lamar.
DeAndre, you've been in the league 12 12 seasons, going on 13. What is it about your game that you feel like still allows you to be so effective?
I would say, how I'm able to get open. I've never been a 4-3 or 4-4 guy, but I'm able to make plays on the ball and get open. And contested catches, I feel like that's been something that, I've been able to excel in. And just, I would say my knowledge of defenses as well. Playing 13 years in the NFL, you learn defensive coverages and you know how to get open, and you kind of know what the defense is doing sometimes pre-snap.
DeAndre, you mentioned like 13 years. Not a lot of guys get to be getting into that. But when players get to that, the question comes, how much do you have left in the tank? I mean, what would you kind of be your answer to that?
How much I have left in the tank? Man, I take it day by day. Honestly, I really never thought about that or look forward to it. They say you'll know when your body gives out on you, and it hasn't given out on me yet. Or for me, I feel like gotten close. So. Who knows, man? Who knows?
DeAndre, you coming to Baltimore has kind of been a rumor every offseason for like 4 years now. How much did you, when you're doing your research, deciding where you want to play, do you call former and current Ravens, kind of talk to them about what it's like? Is there something about this organization other than obviously the quarterbacking, being contenders, that was really attractive to you?
Coach Harbaugh, man, Lamar, all those, Derrick, Derrick and I talked throughout the year, and that's one of my best friends, he keeps it honest. So for myself, it was, man, a couple different things, but, Coach, from the head coach down, man, I feel like everyone, man, they compete, they're dogs, and I feel like this organization, this team matches who I am.
And lifting tank. Do you take some inspiration from what Derrick did last year? Because he was getting some of those same questions, and running back turns 30. What about his campaign last year maybe kind of pushes you to do more?
Oh man, Derrick is definitely an inspiration, not just to myself, but I think everyone in the league as well. For a guy, who plays running back in that age to do what he done. It's very rare. So, I can't say that he's not an inspiration. He's definitely an inspiration. But for myself, I don't look at really not one single person to motivate me to keep going. I think, when you play football, you have to have it within yourself, and you got to know who you are.
DeAndre, I don't know that every free agent comes in and gets a workout done before their introductory press conference. What made you do that, and is your workout routine, do you feel like, part of what's allowed you to still be productive at your age?
Oh, for sure. My workout routine has changed throughout the years, but it's definitely been a key part of me still being able to come out and play at a high level at the age of 32. I'm not sure why you wouldn't work out if you have a weight room this nice, or you have the chance to work out. So for myself, I just like working, man. Just when no one's looking, if that's, at my house at night. But it's definitely been a key part of me, still playing, and also my diet. It's not just the workout, but it's everything else.
Do you have an influence from Derrick? I know he.
Nah, I'm a little older than Derrick, but Derrick, but now Derrick definitely, being in Tennessee with him, he's picky about what he eats. You won't see him in the cafeteria going through the line too much.
Hey, DeAndre, do you remember when Lamar kind of first busted onto your radar screen and you maybe thought, well, that could be fun one day?
Man, I was watching Lamar when he was at Louisville against Clemson, and I remember, this was when Clemson, I think, might have won a national championship, and Lamar was giving a run for their money. I was like, who is this guy? And I think I started following his career after that, because obviously I went to Clemson, and Lamar was, a couple plays away from basically, single-handedly beating him. And I was like, man, this kid's going to be special.
What about his game, about Lamar's game, that it most impresses you?
I would say his football IQ, outside of his run ability. He only threw 4 interceptions last year, if I'm not mistaken. It takes a very high IQ at the quarterback position for that to happen, and that's very impressive. If you play football, that's not easy to do.
How much does that weigh in your decision when you're considering like where to go? Is looking at obviously Lamar's talents speak for himself, but looking out at quarterbacks and saying,
a big part of my decision, obviously. Lamar is known for running, but watch film, and I was watching YouTube highlights of this offense, kind of get familiar with it. He makes some incredible throws, and some of the interceptions, as a receiver, you got to take responsibility yourself. So Lamar is, man, he knows how to thread the needle. So I think for myself, that was definitely a big part of the decision.
Hey, DeAndre, Lamar typically practices with his wide receivers, tight ends during the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Have you spoken with him, and will that be the plan for you?
Yeah, I spoke to him, and we'll get up when he can, when we can. He's a busy guy, so is myself. But I'm sure we'll find time to work before we get here.
I know you played through that MCL injury last year. Was that any kind of limitation for you, just going through and toughing it out?
No, it wasn't, man. It wasn't. It wasn't something that I had to play through. It was kind of, something that happened, and I was able to play week one. And I would say after my first week of playing, it's kind of really nothing that bothered me. So I felt good, man, throughout the season.
Didn't feel like you would need surgery for that? It just kind of healed on itself?
No, I had surgery on my right MCL maybe 7 years ago, and I've had an MCL surgery, so I'm definitely one to ask if you got MCL problem.
Do a couple more, or are we good?
Well, I have one more, DeAndre. Just from your journey going from the Texans to Tennessee to Kansas City, how do you think that'll help you with adapting to, I guess, what have you learned that'll help you adapt to different organizational cultures, teammates, systems?
Yeah, I've definitely been around a lot of players, and even Houston, 7 years there, seeing a lot of people come and go. It's part of it. Just accepting it, accepting your role and your job, and me being an older guy, just embracing everything, and embracing the questions from the younger people. And it's a business. You really can't take it personal if you get traded or you get released or cut. And so for myself, just having gone through those things is my first trade, I would say, wasn't as easy to accept, because I was young and I'm like, I'm at the top of my game. Why would they trade me? But you realize after a while it's a business, and you just got to embrace it and not take it personal.
What stands out most to you about Todd and his offense?
They're winning. And he knows how to get guys open, and it's an offense that's worked, and it's still working.
When did you realize you stepped into that leadership role in your career?
I would say year 4, year 3, when I had an older guy come in, and he was asking me questions when I was younger, and I was like, wow, I guess I am what they consider the number 1 receiver. So I would say it was early in my career.
You talked about your experience, different places. Earlier in your career, you've been places where you were the guy. Here, there's a lot of guys. How much do you think that'll help you playing with so many guys, and how much do you think your experience will help you deal with it if one day you're getting 2 targets, next day 12 targets?
Well, I've definitely been in situations, past couple of years where I only got, a couple targets. So for me, it's really never bothered me. And, I embrace it. I love that, there's a draft every year for the organization to draft the guy. That's part of football, and you have to, realize and understand this is a business, and that's how it goes. So I love it, and the guys that are out there, they're gonna get open like they have done the past couple of years, and hopefully I can give them a couple little tricks to help them advance their game a little more. And if there's something that they're doing, I'm sure I'll ask, what are you doing I can add in my game, because you at this position, you never want to feel like you know everything at the receiver position, because there's always little things that you can learn from a scout team guy or a rookie, and that's how you get better.
Thank you, DeAndre.
Thanks, DeAndre.
Thank you.